So, uh, my name's Kenneth. I'm the Space Engineering Student Ambassador. I just finished my second year at York, and I'm from Christchurch, Barbados, originally. That's in the Caribbean. And I'm also part of the York Atmospheric Science Club. Right. Today's spotlight session, we will have a program overview, some highlights of the program, a bit of knowledge about the co-op, and some extra support you can get there. As well as frequently asked questions, and then we'll have a live Q&A after my presentation is over if you guys have any questions. So yeah. Moving forward, the program overview. Oh, first of all, here at York, you have your first year of engineering, which is a core year. It serves as a foundation to build strong foundation for you and to help you decide where you want to move, what your major you want to do after your first year. In your second year, you'll decide your specialization. And some key courses in your first year will be the engineering mechanics, applied calculus 1 and 2, linear algebra, engineering design principles, and the earth environment. And then you'll also have two coding classes, those being a MATLAB course as well as a Java course. Yeah. Moving forward, uh, in your first year, you will have to declare your specialization. So there's a thing called Declaration Week. This is where you pick your top two choices and for your specialization. And the specializations are listed here as mechanical, electrical, civil, space, mechatronics, computer, and software. So these your your decision of the your top two, you will get into whichever one you want, but it's based off of the grades you get in your first year. So if you say you have space as your top choice, and mechanical as your second, if your grades are up to standard, you'll get into space engineering. But if not, then it will go to your second choice, and that would be mechanical. So you get in mechanical instead of space. The other thing is sometimes other programs can be more competitive to get into. So especially mechanical, because that's one of the more like the most popular engineering subcategory. So it might be harder to get into mechanical than space, which is a bit smaller. Then we also have the credits you'll have to do. So you need a total of 182 credits for your entire program. Sorry about that. You do not need to have prior coding knowledge before joining the program. In your first year, these are introductory courses into MATLAB as well as Java. I'll talk a bit more on coding when we get into the space engineering specific classes. So yeah, all right. Sorry about that. So yeah, so you need 182 credits. And 60 of those credits will be in your core engineering. So a lot of that will be in your first year. And then you'll have some core engineering courses that you take throughout second, third, and fourth year. They'll be labeled Eng in the course code. Then you need 77 declared program credits. This is from your major, your specialization. So you'll have those specific classes that you'll need to take for those specializations. Then you have 12 complementary study credits. That's your like electives essentially. It's humanities, your language classes, business classes, things like that. And then 33 international development studies credits. Moving on, we have the best certificate, the Bergeron Entrepreneurs in Science and Technology. This is essentially Lausanne School of Engineering collaborating with our School of Business, Schulich, and our School of Law, Osgood. So you will take some of these business and law classes, and you'll be able to develop skills in business, innovation, entrepreneurship, and leadership. It's kind of like having a minor in business. So you just take some of those classes for your complementary studies, and you'll be able to get the best certificate. Additionally, specifically for space engineering, there is another certificate that you can get. It is called the Mechatronics certificate. This was a certificate made before the Mechatronics program actually existed. So the Mechatronics certificate is actually kind of built into the space engineering program, where you only have to take 2 or 3 extra courses and then you'll get the certificate. So if you are joining space engineering, I highly recommend that you try and get the certificate because it just makes life easier. You get another thing on your resume, right? So space engineering. What is space engineering? Space engineering is the designing, building, and operating of complex space systems like satellites and robotics. Uh, this space engineering is the only space engineering program in Canada, and it is a cross-disciplinary program that incorporates aspects of software and mechanical engineering, allowing you to learn more and prepare you for a career in the cutting-edge space sector. So, space engineering will have you design and operate complex space systems using coding and hardware. Right? So places you can go to the space industry. In the space industry, you can become a systems engineer. That's one of the higher end jobs that you can get. You can be satellites, communications, and spacecraft design. Also, you don't have to go into the space industry. You can go elsewhere. Because of the cross-disciplinary nature of the program, you'll learn lots of skills and you'll be able to branch out into different areas in your career path, right? So some highlights of the space engineering program. Uh, just a little bit of knowledge. The letters on the left side of your course code, the ESSE 4361, that is your course code. The letters represent the faculty in which the faculty of the class, and then the code is the class itself. The first number at the start of the code is your year level, what year you're supposed to take that class in. So, for instance, 4361 is a 4th year course. So I myself have not taken these 4th year level courses, but they are what I'm most interested in and excited to take when I get there. So space mission design and space hardware, those would be examples of those 4th year level courses. And I'm very excited to take them. They'll help you get hands-on experience on some real hardware in the labs that you would do for that class. Then we have planetary geophysics. This is a class about planets. You get to learn more about Earth, some natural disasters, and how they affect technology. Then we have algorithmic and computational methods. This is your space engineering specific coding class. So in your first year, you'll learn MATLAB and Java. And then if you decide to choose space engineering, you will have to learn Python. Now, Python is very important for the space industry. It's what all the simulations are run with. So this class is very important, and you should learn well on this one. Uh, Also, I know it might be difficult. You asked if you need prior coding knowledge before. I myself have not had prior coding knowledge before my first year, right? And also, if you learn MATLAB, it's very easy because it's a interpreted language, I believe, and Python is the same. So once you learn one language, it's just the syntax changes a bit, but it's very easy to learn one of the interpreted language and learn another interpreted language. All right. Finally, we have Mech 2401. This is your CAD modeling class. Now, CAD's very important, and a specific CAD modeling program that you would be using in this class would be SolidWorks. SolidWorks is important. You need to be able to build models before you can actually realize any of the models that you're going to be putting together, right? So this is very important. Some skills you'll learn, you will have to learn Python. As stated before, it's very important, as well as SolidWorks. It's very important as well. Then you get the valuable experience with the hardware test methods. This is through your space mission and vehicle design and your payload design and development. So you'll get to gain many skills just by taking the courses here. And you also get the ANSYS Level 1 STK certificate. You'll have to do this, I believe, in your 3rd year in space engineering. So, Future ready features. As York is the only oh, let me answer this question first. Sorry about that, guys. So all specific payload design and integrations. I believe it's some that have gone through already, but you will learn a lot about systems and subsystems in your systems engineering course. This is taken in your second year, so I've just taken that class. You will get to learn all about uh, how systems work, and you will have to you get to learn under a professor that has worked on many projects. They've worked on the OSIRIS-REx, they've worked in Phoenix for the rover, Mars, right? So you get to work under profs like that. Uh, Honestly, I find that one of the more exciting parts of York, where you get to learn from professors that have actually worked on the field and have some projects to their names. So yeah. If you have any more specific questions about the payload design and integration classes, I won't be able to answer it as I have not taken the classes just as yet. But you can always ask this question to an email, ask@lasonschool.com. You can see it at the very end of the presentation if you still have any more questions for that. No problem. Right. Uh, Future ready features. So modern courses will have sorry, just give me one second. Modern courses, as York is the only space engineering program in the country, we are the most modern thing here for space engineering. And many of the co-ops are looking at taking students directly from York and integrating them into the work life there, right? So that is one thing that is very important and easy to know, because other places they have to retrain you, but here at like for instance, if you graduate from mechanical engineering, then they're going to have to then teach you more about space engineering, but rather than just learning space engineering from the start, right? Also, you get hands-on experience working on CAD projects and labs. That's your the CAD modeling class, as well as there's a bunch of clubs related to space engineering, and there's many clubs in Lassonde itself that you can join. You don't have to be an engineer to join them either. And a little fun fact that York has actually made a satellite that was launched into orbit. It's called the Educational Space Science and Engineering CubeSat Experiment, also known as ESSENCE. And I believe in the future they're actually trying to put together another team of students to build another CubeSat. So that's something to look forward to, and or if you're interested in. All right. So moving on to the co-op. So I want to say that co-op is optional and available after completing your second year. So I myself have not done co-op, but I will be trying to do co-op. I believe you have to pay a flat fee of $200 to get access to the co-op portal, but then you get to use York's connection to actually apply to all these co-op companies, right? Uh, the average salary for space engineering and all the space engineering uh, co-ops is $22.59 per hour, and lets you get real work experience and connections within the industry. Now, I said that co-op is optional, but I really want to emphasize this that highly recommend that you actually do co-op. That is your connection to the industry, your work experience, all the above, right? If you do well enough, make a good enough impression, you could probably just get a job straight after graduating with the co-op that you did. Some top employers for co-op would be MDA, the CSA, Canada CIS, and Kepler. So, so do some opportunities beyond the classroom, mostly research. Research can be very important. It can be that experience. So if you decide not to do co-op, you can always do research. You can do research under a prof, and that could be your way of getting your experience and your connections because a lot of these profs, like I said before, have experience and done projects related to space in the past. So if you're able to do research with them or under them, then you can also get their connection to the space industry. So there's also some research funding, like the Natural Sciences Engineering Research Council of Canada. They offer the Undergraduate Student Research Award, URSA, and Lassonde Undergraduate Research Award, LURA. Give me a second. I myself have not done any co-op, but most of what I know, I have some friends that have done co-op. It would be like project management. It'll be more on that side. Or you can even get, it doesn't have to be exactly one of those space engineering companies, as long as you get some experience with working, then that's also good. For instance, I have some friends that have worked at RBC and they've just been doing some coding for them. So it varies. Many different places will have you do most different things, but most likely it will be like a project management side. Yeah. Okay. Extracurricular. So as stated before, Lassonde has many clubs. They also have some space related clubs. And first that I would like to talk about is the Arbalest Rocketry Club. This is a club that creates their own rockets. And they actually, I think they made four rockets in the past, and they're building their fifth one now. And they enter it into competitions against other universities, and it's just a lot of fun. And it's also a great way to get some experience, even if you know nothing of how to do anything with building rockets, you can join that club and they will teach you how to do it. All right. Uh, and a bunch of companies will be looking at these competitions to see if there's any people that they want to work for them. So it gives you that experience, and you can also get connections through it. Then you have the York University Robotics Society. There's many different branches in this club, but a space-related one would be their rover. They have made their own rover from scratch, and they enter into competitions. I don't remember the last time they did, but they did make their own rover. They test it out all the time, and you'll probably get to see it if you go to Frosh. Yeah. Then finally, we have the Lassonde Satellite Club. This one I feel is actually one of the cooler ones to join because they create their own CubeSat. It's very space engineering. And they enter this CubeSat into a competition. I believe it's every 2 years they enter this competition, also against other universities. But if they win this competition, their CubeSat actually gets sent to space. So you get that enjoyment of having something you created go to space. You also get the uh, work, that experience of doing that, as well as some connections, just like how it was in the Arbalest Rocketry Club competitions, right? Then you have work study, uh, which is there's on campus or hybrid. We have the K2I Academy, and then research at York. That's researching with a professor and a professor, also very important, and leadership engagement and ambassadorship program lead. Now, I said that researching under a professor is very important, gives you that experience, that connection as well to the industry that you might want to join. And to do this, you really want to talk to your professor. It could be after class, just go in there and talk to your professors, and especially their office hours. They're there for a reason. You should go to them, even if you don't have any problems with a question or the work that you're doing. You can go to the office hours, get to know your professor, and if they like you enough, they might ask you to do some research with them. You never know. All right. Student support and resources. So here at York, if you're ever in need of academic advising, then you just go for engineering specifically, you go to the Bergeron building and you go to the Student Welcome and Support Center. Uh, this is open on Monday to Friday. Yeah, Monday to Friday at 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. And I highly recommend that you use the QLess app if you want to see them in person. Uh, you use the QLess app because there's a very long line usually. So you can just join the QLess app, join the queue, and then go about your day. And then when it's like when you get a message saying that you're 10 minutes until your academic advising, then you can just walk to the Bergeron building then and wait the rest of the time. It's very easy that way. Additionally, we have the Bethune College free counseling. This is if you ever need someone to talk to, you can always go to Bethune College and talk to them. They're open every Monday and Tuesday and from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. They're located in Bethune College, room 103, and you just walk in. No appointments needed. Yeah. All right, we're on to the frequently asked questions. So, what is the difference between space engineering and other engineering programs? Well, space engineering is one of the newer programs here at York. It still has a very long history here and is certified. So space engineering, I think the difference between the other programs is that it's very unique here, right? You get your own experiences through it, and you also are able to branch out to a farther career path because of the cross-disciplinary nature of space engineering. You get a bit of the handiness from the mechanical engineering, and you get the coding knowledge of a software engineer. Maybe not as much, but you still get those skills. So you're able to branch off into many different places, right? What made you choose Asan and this program? For me, it was the fact that space engineering was the only space engineering program in Canada. And that really, I wanted to be an aerospace engineer at first, but now that I've saw that space engineering exists, I looked at it, I was like, oh, this actually does more of the things that I want to do. I wanted to learn more about outside the atmosphere than inside the atmosphere. So I chose to come here. And another thing is I really needed a commuter-friendly school, and York is very commuter-friendly. It has two subway stations. They have the York University subway station, and we have Pioneer Village subway station, which also acts as a bus hub. And even that, if that's still not good enough, you have Highway 407 subway station, which is one stop away where so many buses go, right? So it's very easy to get to campus. So that is another reason why I've chosen the Sond in this program. How can I tell if this program is the right fit for me? Well, I think it comes down to a passion, a want to actually do space engineering if you really want to learn about space engineering. Also, space engineering is probably going to be the future of jobs. Earth has finite resources. Look at this, Artemis 2 just launched and came back. They're going back to the space program, you know? So if you really want to be part of that, you can always join. And however, like all engineering programs, it will be hard and you will need to study, you will need to dedicate your time to your classes. So if you really have a passion for it, then I'm sure that you'll be able to fight through all that struggle of having to study. Yeah. What has been a highlight of your time at Lassonde so far? Well, here I mentioned that I'm not originally from Canada. So when I first came up here, I did not know anyone. But the community here at Lassonde made it very easy to make friends, especially if you're in engineering. Because of that core first year, the person next to you in your class, you should talk to them. Your neighbors, just talk to them because it's very likely that they're just going to be in your next class because you all have the same class in your first year. So you can just easily make friends with them because you're going to be seeing them a bunch, you know? So that's how I made my friends here at York. It's very easy to talk to this to people, the community, and if you ever need help, you can always talk to the person next to you, and they might even you might have the answer for their problem as well. You never know. But I would definitely say the community here at Lassonde. Do you have any advice or tips for someone starting the program? So yeah, my main tip actually is like you asked, do you need any coding knowledge, prior coding knowledge to join for engineering, your first year at engineering? I would say you don't, because I didn't have any and I got through, right? But it is nice to have. So maybe just brush up on some coding, like watch some YouTube videos on it, specifically for your first year MATLAB and then Java. You'll take MATLAB in fall and you'll take Java in winter. So I would say specifically watch some videos on MATLAB, right? So you have at least a little knowledge of what to do with coding. And secondly, I would say that after your class, after your day, all your classes are done, take like an hour of your time or a bit longer if you need, and just go through the stuff that you learned that day. Go through it to try and help retain that knowledge. And that way, when you actually have a test to study for, a midterm or your final, it just comes back much easier because you're instead of just learning this thing over again, it's something that you have and you're just, a little rusty on instead. That way, you just, whenever you really do need to revise, it's much easier. So that is my tip for you guys. And here I'll ask, do you guys have any questions for me? Let's see. Okay. So I do think it would be a great experience to join space engineering, even though you have that past experience, because there might be some things that you don't know that you don't have. Like you say you have a background in aerospace maintenance and engineering, right? So maybe if you had maybe you don't know much about the systems engineering. I myself have not got into the space mission design and the payload design classes just yet. But the clubs, I think, are a very big part that you could join and get more experience. And then since you already have so much experience, you could even get your connection through those competitions that they do. And that way, maybe you don't need to specifically carry on throughout the entire space engineering program. And also, I know some people that have done the 4 years of space engineering undergraduate and have decided to go into the graduate program as well because they just wanted to do more research on something that they found that they liked a lot instead of moving on into the working environment. But yeah, I don't know if that quite helped you answer your question, but I think if you do need more of an answer, you can always join the Lassonde community Discord and you'll be able to ask all the ambassadors there. And all right, so there's actually a bunch here in Toronto, uh, or Ontario, sorry, that will want you. For instance, I think MDA is having a industry, like they're having their company have an online here in Toronto, and then I believe they're based in Hamilton. So it'll be probably those. If you're thinking of CSA, that'll be more in Montreal, Quebec area. So, but yeah, even though it is a niche field, it is really heading towards the future. Everyone will have to have some sort of space knowledge, right? So yeah. you would probably get placed around there. You can also try and get a job with NASA, so you can go to America if you need to, but that's preference if you really want to go all the way to America. Yeah. Any more questions? No? Oh, sorry. What types of hand-on? So I believe the most hands-on you'll get in the program is that in the fourth level, fourth year courses, you'll get to work on actual space hardware, uh, and also create your own payload design. Especially in your fourth year, you'll also have to do a capstone project that you will collaborate with not just space engineers, but all fourth year students from Lausanne. So that's all the programs in Lausanne you have to get from there. So one of those are probably the biggest hands-on things you'll have to do. But every class you'll basically have a lab and you'll have to do something hands-on. For instance, in the CAD modeling class, we had to create a vehicle that could climb upstairs from parts that we were given. And we could 3D print some parts as well, but we had to use what we were given. You had to choose between mechanical, electrical, space. Which one would you have more potential? Well, personally, I think this might be bias, but I would choose space because of the cross-disciplinary nature of how it works. You do get the bit of mechanical and you do get bit of software side. Um, However, mechanical can always work with you. Mechanical is a lot. I know a lot of mechanical engineering students that also want to go into the space sector, but they are choosing to do mechanical engineering, and then later on in their life, they'll learn more about the space engineering side, and that is how they're going to get through. So, and everywhere really needs electrical engineering. In many space engineering projects, you'll probably need an electrical engineer. And when I say probably, you'll definitely need one. Um, so I feel like electrical probably has the most potential to go anywhere that they want, but I would say space, it's not terrible to do space as well because you will have to get that knowledge because that's just the nature of space engineering. For instance, this coming semester, I will be taking an electronics class. This is for my space engineering program, though. So you will have to have knowledge of some electro electrical engineering. How AI proof do you think space engineering is? Well, everything is starting to be replaced by AI, really, but it's still very important. There's some jobs that AI won't be able to do. For instance, there's the systems engineering, which is a big part of space engineering. Systems engineering is actually moving not only for in the space industry, but it's trying to get moved out of the space industry as well and be adopted by a bunch of other companies because of how well of process space systems engineering is. So I don't think AI will be too comfortable with the systems engineering aspect of the job, but it's still able to do some of the job, but you'll definitely need the space engineers. Yeah. So I do know that with the other fields that you can work in, you can work really anywhere. I feel like you can definitely work in the bank as you can do coding for them, as I've seen multiple times by other students that have done co-ops with the bank, RBC. So you can always get a job there. And I'm sorry, I'm kind of blanking right now on other fields that you could go to. Maybe you could ask this question in the Discord. You might be able to get a better response there. Sorry, but it's like along that lines, and you can definitely get jobs elsewhere if you don't get into the space industry. Any other questions? Yeah. Ah, let me this Discord. It is the Lasan community Discord. And if you have any questions that I might not be able to answer, you can always ask Lassond. Ask the email ask at Lassond. Yeah. I believe that QR code should bring you to the Discord. Let me check. No, it does not. It should lead to a link to the Discord though. Yeah. So you can scan that QR code and it will lead you to the YorkU site that has all of these in it that you can see. There is also other spotlight sessions for different programs happening throughout this week that you can join as well. One of you guys asked about the electrical and the mechanical engineering. Uh, I believe, I believe the electrical is happening later in the week, but I think mechanical already happened. But if even if you missed it, don't worry because there will be another set of spotlight sessions happening, I believe, in like 2 weeks, 3 weeks from now. So if you still have questions or you want to learn more about that specific program, you can always join that spotlight session. And if you also have more questions that you don't have the time to in between to wait for the next spotlight session, you can always ask on the Lasan Discord. So if there are no more questions, I would like to say thank you for joining and to keep in touch. You can always ask through if you have any like admissions related questions, that'd be easier to ask the email that you see here. And if you have more like general knowledge questions that you're not sure about, just ask on the Discord and one of the ambassadors will be able to answer you there.